Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
I don't know. I thought we got together stuff for concrete, but maybe I didn't use it all.
So that was many episodes ago. We talked about it. And
Yeah.
you thought you had plenty of
Sand, I think.
gravel, and then the problem was the sand pit was gone, and then you went and found a new sand pit.
But yeah, I went to the sand pit and filled it up. The shulker box. I don't even know where the shulker box is at, though.
Good question. I don't know either.
I'm looking around over here.
What the hell is like? There's so many new sounds in this game. I'm so confused.
I don't think they've added a new sound.
Dude, there was literally just like a new sound that went like a cave sound, but it was like a newer cave sound. But I understood like where it came from. But at the end of it, it sounded like a woodpecker. It was just like. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Maybe there's a woodpecker.
Like, there could be they could add a woodpecker to the game. I don't know.
Is the shulker box down at the top of everything?
It's not down here. I'm digging stuff out. It's not down here. Is all I know.
I mean, up like at the when you look up and there's those chests suspended.
No, I don't see a shulker box. Nope, I just see 4 or 5 chests, a piston, and a workbench.
Okay.
That's all I see.
Remember when it was gonna be plague?
Yeah, I was just thinking that same thing because looking at the piston, because that was the piston from the original thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Plague 1, Death Pit. Plague 2, obsidian-filled death pits.
Okay.
I mean, we're there.
Plague.
Oh, I do feel it's kind of crazy, too, because honestly, if this was a big prank, it was an elaborate prank idea by we don't even know who still did that prank, and it just kind of ended.
Right. Yeah.
It's
like this big plan that they didn't follow
didn't
through
finish.
on.
It's over. It's just over. Oh man! So this last weekend, I don't know if I don't think I talked about this the last time we recorded. But we went to there's a beer festival in DC.
I saw you tweet about the beer festival.
It's so
no, you haven't told me about it.
It's so crazy. There's lots of beer festivals in DC, but this one was by far exceptional to me because they literally closed off 2 of the busiest roads in DC, and that's where the festival was. Literally in the middle of Pennsylvania and Constitution Avenue, where we're just like they shut it down, and we were walking up and down the street. The street signal was still the light was still like doing its signals and things like that, which was like pretty damn awesome. So it's pretty cool when you can be in a city that shuts down the main roads to give you a beer festival. It's pretty damn cool. But the more entertaining thing is with this beer festival was popular enough to where it actually sold out. So, and when it's a beer festival, it's like you buy tickets and you go, and there's just beer booths everywhere that are free. You get a glass when you walk in, and you just fill it up at all the places. And they have little places to like rinse out your glass to have it, but they have like 12, 10, 20, and then 4 of them. 80 different vendors. There are 80 different beers from 40 different vendors because each vendor had like 2 beers. So all different kinds of beers and things like that. So
how drunk were you at the end of this?
Pretty drunk. Definitely. I had to tell Julia to slow it down at the beginning because all she wanted to do was keep getting back in line because her idea was we get our drink from one, we go to the next longest line, and we go wait in it while we're drinking this drink. But we literally had like 5 full glasses of beer within the first 15 minutes of being there, and it was just like slow down. We need to stop and walk around and enjoy these beers because it's not taking long to cycle through these lines. These lines aren't really that long.
Right.
So one thing I found we've gone to festivals like this before, and one thing I found really odd at this one is they actually, instead of handing out plastic cups, they were giving out glasses. So you walk around with a glass in the street because, they're going to open it up to be a road again, like shortly. And it was really funny because all of a sudden you'd hear a random like, ksh, somebody dropped their glass because they got drunk, and the crowd erupted in boo like every time somebody dropped a glass. So it was really funny because like everybody was getting into it. But I'm sure you've bought tickets to like some event on like Fandango or something like that, right?
Yeah, only
Or
movies on
Eventbrite.
Fandango.
I guess Eventbrite even, you know. It's you get a barcode basically on your phone that you go in, and that's what they scan to DHG in.
You know what? The only thing I've ever done on Eventbrite is free events though. I've never, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The concept is the same though. Whether you
Yeah.
buy it or it's free, it's like you basically have your phone is your ticket. It's a QR code of some type that somehow gets you into the show. So this was sold out, but some friends of ours wanted to go, and we figured just like everything else, they said, okay, well, you know, we're gonna go meet you there. It turns out there was 2 different entrances, and we were at 2 different sides of the entrances, but they were texting us, and you know, they were like, okay, we're here, we're gonna look for people like selling tickets because you know there's always scalpers or somebody selling some type of ticket somewhere. And so we're inside, we're drinking, and, you know, Julia's texting them, and she keeps responding back to me. She's like, I don't have any luck yet. Like, nobody's selling, like, everybody who's coming is coming to the beer festival. Nobody's coming to, like, sell tickets. So after, like, 20 minutes or so, she's like, well, okay, it looks like they said they don't have any luck, so they're going to go home. Which is kind of shocking, because there's scalpers for, like, everything, you know. Somebody's outside trying to sell tickets. But
How much were the tickets whenever y'all got them?
I think, like, $25 a piece.
It's pretty good for.
So not ridiculous amounts of money by any means, but so about 20 minutes later, she looks back at her phone and goes, "Oh, they got in. Let's go. They're standing in front of like blah 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 booth right now. Let's go meet them over there." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." So we go over there, and you know they got their glasses, and we go get in line at some place. And I'm thinking, you know, I asked him, I was like, "Oh, so who'd you buy tickets from?" And I'm trying to think, how much are you buying, you know, scalped tickets to a beer festival for? You know, let's say it's unlimited. There's this many beers. It's all you can drink. We paid $25 a piece. I don't know how much it cost. Julie actually bought it for me for my birthday, is what it was originally bought for. So I think they were like $25 a piece. So I'm trying to figure out, like, how much did they have to pay a scalper? Did they get, like, was it one of those situations where the person couldn't go and just wanted to try to recoup some cost and were selling it for under cost? Or was it, like, going for ridiculous amounts of money?
Yeah.
So I asked, like, how much did you get them for? You know what they did?
I feel like they just walked in, but
I
mean,
they pulled up a random QR code from a Fandango type site, like from whatever ticketing company it was that did this, just zoomed in on it so you could tell it was a ticket from that person. When we walked in the door, they checked our ID and then they scanned them and they had to approve them. They apparently just stood outside of their entrance and waited until they saw a line that wasn't scanning, and they just walked up with the QR code, showed them an ID. Dude looks at it and goes, "Okay, go on in."
wow,
So
that's fantastic.
apparently, if you just stand outside these places long enough, you could just like figure your way in by finding the people who aren't doing their job right and just take advantage of that
doesn't
line.
surprise me that much, honestly. Like, yeah, I'm not too surprised by that.
I'm even really wondering, like, what would have happened if they scanned it and it gave them an error? If you just look stupid for like long enough, be like,
Right.
Are they just going to be like, fuck, go on in, like, whatever?
Yeah.
This thing's obviously having a problem or what?
Right,
It makes me
right.
wonder how many people do this on a regular basis.
I'm sure they do it all the time.
Like-
Hell, Seven is used to. He would have. I mean, this is probably I probably shouldn't even talk about this.
I think I know exactly where you're going to go with that. You're talking about the airport.
Yeah, the airline thing. It's probably a damn federal offense what he did, honestly. So yeah, but yeah, I would send him pictures of my ticket, and he would modify his digital version of his ticket to show to the gate check people, so that he could go through the first class line whenever it was time to like check in at the airport. Basically.
So I will tell you, I have gone through and examined security surrounding tickets for airline check-in stuff. A lot of them don't use the security codes that you could, so theoretically you could just manipulate the the code, as long as you know what type of code it was coded in, you could go to any online barcode generator, manipulate what the data is in there, and have it show up because they don't have security bits surrounding it. The problem is that's just the outer facing code. You don't know which of the machines are interfaced with the more integrated system. And that's the thing. There's so many different airlines that many of them, like there was a, I'll tell you the reason I got into this is because, or got into looking at this, is I was watching one of the, oh God, what is that hacker convention?
There's a hacker convention?
Oh, there's plenty of hacker conventions, but they have a lot of the videos on YouTube for them. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's not called like HackCon, but the one that they tell you if you ever do go to this convention, you're supposed to turn off the Wi-Fi on your phone because you're just going to get like destroyed because people are purposely trying to hack you there. Like it's an open invite to be hacked. Oh my God. Fuck, it's something con. I don't remember what it is.
Is it?
DEF
The
CON.
con has got con.
DEF CON.
Oh. Huh.
One of the DEF
I've never
Cons.
heard of this.
And a guy get a whole presentation on it, and I thought it was fucking brilliant, in one of the major airports over in one of the other countries, a huge hub that people go through. They have
Heathrow?
It could be Heathrow. I don't remember exactly, and that's the problem.
Okay.
It's but it's one of the major hubs over in the European area, and they have some of their lounges they don't have attendance at. It's literally, there's gates that you can go to and scan your ticket because certain tickets give you privilege into there, and like the little gate opens up. And so it's like basically a self-serve kiosk to get in. So he found out that it was basically on this particular airline, if you have any first-class ticket, it gives you access to these lounges. So he went and basically manipulated a boarding pass scan code to show that he was first class on this airline, and he had to make it like match up to, you know, the actual like date, because he tested it was within like 24 hours and all this stuff, and it shows him sitting down and just like going to this online website and like making some barcodes and printing them out because he had like a little printer with him, and he literally just walked up to this thing and scans it, and the last thing of his video feed is him like with the cell phone camera walking in to this like lounge that would cost like hundreds of dollars to get into because it's got a movie theater in it. It's like that's
how the one in that's how the damn lounge in Heathrow is. It's insane.
No, maybe
like
so maybe it was the one in Heathrow, but he also started.
Sevidus did this. Like he used my first class ticket to get in there one time, as far as I remember.
Oh, that's interesting. And didn't even fly out of that airport?
Yeah, we were both there for Minecon or something.
Oh, okay, so it did fly out of that. So that stuff is okay. Well, I can't say it's okay. He said he felt less risky about doing that because there's all the different airlines that would give you access to that club. This system, like the airlines want to keep their stuff proprietary. So they're not going to let everybody just have access to it. So it's literally just based off of reading that barcode. But like the TSA pre-check people or the TSA people have a system that's linked into like a real-time reservation system.
Right.
So it's a whole different ball game if you're dealing with like the TSA versus I'm actually at my gate and this is my airline, because most likely when they scan your boarding pass, it is linking it into their system.
Right.
Versus...
Yeah, he would never do that. It was more like when I'm getting my bags checked and I'm going through security, all that stuff, because he didn't have TSA pre-check at the time. I think he does now, so it's not even a big deal. But at the time he didn't, so he wanted to be able to skip the regular line to go through first class line.
But that's still TSA, isn't it?
No. Well, yeah, I guess it is TSA, but they don't scan your they look at your ID and they look at, well, no, there is that. They do put it on top of thing and scan.
And that's where I'm more baffled, because that I've always thought about when I was on a Southwest Airlines flight. Why can't I just change my fucking barcode to show me that I'm A15? You know, since they go by that system, and I could easily recode the barcode to say that. But when I walk up to get on the plane and they scan it in, is it going to be like this person doesn't really exist because it's actually now linked to the system? Versus just relying on what's encoded within my barcode.
Right.
I'll tell you, if I'm ever laid over somewhere that has a self-serve kiosk to get into a lounge, I'm fucking trying to sit down and create some barcodes and seeing if I can get into that lounge. There's no question about that. I will I will give that fucking stuff a shot. But I am not ballsy enough to try to actually sneak through like
Yeah.
a
me
plane
either, me
early. Oops. Because that would probably federal offenses. Yeah, probably bad. I might if it was somewhere that just looked at your pass, though. I wouldn't, because I know the one thing he told me he did before is on I think it was like a United flight. He just embedded the basically the boarding group. You know, he just moved the boarding group up like to show that he could.
That's what he would
get
always
into
do
it.
with me too. Is change the boarding group so he could go on first, basically.
Yeah, but
you would think that when they scanned the ticket, they would see that.
You're right. You would think, but I guess sometimes back in the day, I mean, I used to fly a lot. I can't say fly a lot, but I've flown many a times where they didn't scan anything. They literally just looked at your pass and like took it from you or whatever. It wasn't necessarily scanned. But you can never know when they are or not going to do something like that, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a risky thing. I mean, I think in his case, he could always just plausible deniability, be like, "Huh, well, that's weird. I mean, I don't know what."
Yeah,
I was in group
and I guess
one.
you could, especially if you were really a ticketed passenger on that flight, it would be easy to just try to play stupid.
But yeah, that's all he would do is change like what group he was in on his existing ticket, basically.
I do wonder what would happen though, because people constantly like, how do you get in the TSA pre-check line? All that person does at the very front of it is make sure it says TSA pre-check on it to let you in.
Right.
But what happens
And
when
that's
you
what
get
they
up
do
to
on
the
the first class
TSA
line.
person?
Yeah.
When they
I don't know.
scan that thing, because sometimes it's funny. Sometimes the TSA pre-check line just kind of dumps into the normal line. Just it's quicker to get in
Further up,
there,
right?
And so if it's one of those situations, you could easily just be like, "Oh, it says TSA pre-check on here."
Right.
But if it's one that actually has a separated line that gets you like less security that you actually have to do up there, that I don't know what happens when it hits one of their TSA machines. Like,
you know, for so long the TSA pre-check the place to get that service was nowhere near me, so I never did it. But I'd still occasionally go in and get my tickets, and I would have TSA pre-check.
yeah, they would start giving it to random people because I think they were trying to get people to want TSA pre-check.
I see. I still don't have it because they do offer it now at my airport where you can go there to get it. I just never have done it.
Dude, there's so many better things to get than TSA pre-check, like global entry, which
that's true too.
which includes TSA pre-check. Turns out Nexus. This is the craziest thing. So you can get TSA pre-check, I think, is $80. And it used to be for 3 years, and now they upped it to 5. I think it was to match everything else. Because global entry was $100 for 5 years instead of 3, and it included TSA pre-check. And I didn't quite believe it, but that's how I did, what I did and how I got it. My parents are in the process of getting Nexus right now, which is the one that gets you in and out of Canada pretty easily.
Yeah.
It costs $50 for 5 years and includes TSA pre-check.
Really?
It costs less than pre-check by itself. And
That's
includes pre-check.
It's weird how, like, because Nexus is just a privately owned company, is my understanding.
I knew you have to get, there's only like 5 or 6 places in the US that you can go get the interview for Nexus because it has to be at a Canada-US border.
Oh, really?
So
I've seen it advertised here, but I didn't know that. So
yeah, it's so less common. If you look up where you can get it, there's very few interview places. But you know, my parents live in Michigan, which there's multiple different routes into Canada from Michigan. So, and that was a weird one because I was helping my mom fill out the paperwork, and it actually made her set an interview date before you fill out the application, which I thought was weird. But then when she actually went through and did it, the interview date that she set, even though it was like for a week later, they delayed it for like 3 months. And then she's going to have her interview. I think her interview is actually coming up next week. And then she's supposed to fill out the application. It's a very weird, like backwards way to do it compared to all the other ones.
Yeah. It's weird.
You should still get it though.
I just don't fly that often anymore.
But still,
very rarely.
I'm still going to get it when mine expires in a year and a half, even though I don't fly that often anymore either, because it's so worth it when I have it.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I guess it depends on where we're going, but like the Raleigh airport, I get there and I walk in. I normally get there like 30 minutes before my flight.
But you got to come back.
Yeah, that's why I said I guess it depends on where we're going. But so far, it's never been anywhere where it was that big of a deal. Orlando's probably the worst in terms of things. But there's been plenty of times where if I am flying first, I'll get through my line before my TSA for pre-check friends get through their
I
line.
will
So,
I will scope the line because I've actually gotten in a normal line before because I looked at how long the TSA pre-check line was and was like, it's not worth it. I'll take off my shoes. Type of deal.
Yeah. What colors did we decide down here now? The blue is for which? So green is farm, red is back home, then blue and yellow
was villagers.
Okay, so blue is storage.
Or blue was, I don't know, the ocean, but isn't the ocean technically going to be, I guess, green?
Yeah, because the ocean's the farm. Blue could be storage. It's fine. I had a thing happen the other day, kind of in line with what you're talking about, of employees just kind of giving up. Like I was at Harris Teeter, and I was mainly there to get stuff for my grandma because I don't like to shop at Harris Teeter, but they had smoked salmon on sale. Do they?
Mm-hmm. The one in DC does.
Really? Harris Teeter was notoriously overpriced. That's why I don't shop there. Because it's kind of funny. Like they're owned by the same company that owns Kroger, and so like back in the day, before Kroger shut down North Carolina, you could go and they carry the same products since they're the same parent company, and they would be about 20% more for the same exact product across the board at Harris Teeter, which is just very weird to me. Like, why?
Because Kroger is a cheaper brand than Harris Teeter.
I mean, yeah, but it was literally the same damn thing. Like, I mean, same damn thing.
I mean, haven't you noticed that at Costco? Like, because you have a Costco membership now, too. You probably don't go there that much. There are certain things that you buy at Costco that are more expensive than buying them at the standard grocery store. That you're just
I
like,
don't buy those things.
You're like, weird. That's weird. But, you know, everything else is so much cheaper. But this thing is twice as the price. Like,
yeah, no, I'm very particular with my Costco buying because, yeah, I'm there to save money. But yeah, I'll only go twice a month. So their fruit is super cheap compared to a grocery store.
Costco?
Like, yeah, like if you get like a thing of like strawberries at Costco, it's double the size for the same price as a grocery store, basically. Like their fruit's the same price as what you would pay at the grocery store, but it's twice the quantity.
True,
so,
right.
I guess so technically it's half price, basically. Because there's so much.
And you still don't have the joy of the liquor.
No, I don't really care about that though. Is the liquor cheaper?
I mean, I think it's more like wholesale price versus.
But so anyways, at the Harris Teeter, Harris Teeter does their markdown for quick sell very weird, where they put a coupon for a certain amount off on the product. So there was this smoked salmon that was normally $9.99, but it was on sale for $7.99, and then it was marked down for quick sale with a $4 off coupon. So technically, it was going to be $3.99. And so I was like, okay, we'll get this. I needed to get milk and eggs too. So those were my products. And so he rings it up, but then he rings the salmon up at $9.99, and then the $4 off coupon. I was like, well, no, it's on sale for $7.99, so that didn't ring up right. So then he just like voids it, and then he just scans the coupon. So then it's just a negative $4 coupon, but no salmon on there. And I'm like, well, now you didn't scan the salmon, so really you're just giving me $4 off the order. He just looks at me like a deer in the headlights, and I'm like, and I like point at it again. I'm like, well, you can see here you've taken $4 off for the coupon.
You're like,
there's
thank
no
you,
salmon.
by the way.
And he just stares at me, and I'm like, so listen, what you're doing is you're giving me $4 off my order, and I'll take it, but you're not getting paid for the salmon. And he just shrugs his shoulders and goes, I don't really get it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll go with this. Yep.
Now, you know what the ironic thing about that is? It makes me feel like that coupon for $4 off the salmon was literally just $4 off whatever the hell.
Yeah, $4 off your order. Take this food.
But what if you had just ripped that coupon off and walked it up to the register?
Well, no, because the way that they're set up, it says like what product it's on and management special.
But clearly it didn't matter if he voided it and then scanned the coupon.
I mean, yeah,
right?
it is just a thing. I mean, you know, based on that, you totally could just rip it off in there and stick it on something else and hope they don't notice that it's on the wrong thing. So yeah, it is just literally a $4 off coupon from your order, but you know, they're supposed to pay attention. They're supposed to know how to do what they're supposed to do.
Supposed to look and say that it says off of salmon and you didn't order salmon. I just go major grocery shop and then give him the coupon at the end. He ain't gonna be like, I don't remember seeing salmon in this $300 grocery cart.
Right. But yeah, I just thought that was funny when you were talking about the people, the QR code. It reminded me of this guy that just gave me $4 off of my groceries for no reason.
Well, and honestly, and that's probably like why people can get away with that stuff. And I almost want to say like I should try, but I feel like shitty about it. It's so weird as somebody who used to like pirate software and stuff all the time and have no qualms about it at all. Like I now feel bad, just like you trying to tell the guy about you still got to charge me for the salmon. Like I feel bad about when people make a mistake like that, because it's like, now that I know that I'm a working professional, I have enough money to cover this stuff, I don't want that stuff for free anymore.
Right.
I want to know that I've paid everybody I'm supposed to pay and this is legitimate. Like,
yeah,
I don't like getting stuff accidentally handed to me because I feel bad about it.
Right, like if someone gives you the wrong change whenever you were a kid, you'd have been like, sucker!
Yeah. Oh, dude, I felt I made some, like, good street cred in my neighborhood last week because I walked down to the bodega, you know where I live, the bodega right down the street. It's not filled with the most, it's not like high society walking in there at all times. There's a lot of, homeless people, low class people, there's a, what I'm talking about. And I'm leaving behind a guy who clearly was either homeless or on the brink of being homeless, who had literally bought in front of me like the half pint of Jack that he could afford with the random like couple dollars he was able to pull out of his pocket that were like, dirty, full of mud, this, that, the other. And he's limping and clearly wearing clothes that don't fit him. Like the ideal look of, I hear phantoms a lot of them.
Yeah, you know what? I've been sleeping, but you must not have. There's a lot of phantoms.
I have not in a while. I'm coming back up to.
There's a lot
to see, and as we're leaving, I'm walking out. I'm walking kind of behind this guy, and the guy who ordered his thing right behind me, who was more, he didn't look nearly as, he didn't look as bad. He didn't look like homeless, but he was clearly just buying, like, dude who's there buying his daily pint of, whatever. And we all walk out of the bodega going the exact same direction. And right before I get to my house, the guy who's in front of me, who's like the homeless looking guy, drops a dollar, falls out of his back pocket.
Okay.
And I immediately just reached down, grabbed it, and I said, "Excuse me, sir." And I ran up and I tapped him, and I was like, you just dropped this. And he was very thankful for it in his clearly already drunken state. And the guy behind me now that's walking, who was, similar situation, but clearly not. He just stopped, and as I turned into the house, he just stopped me, and he stopped and shook my hand, and he goes, "Making sure the right people get the right, get what they deserve. Nobody's getting screwed over here." And I was like, well, just making some street credit in this neighborhood right now from these random guys, but this guy who clearly would not have noticed his dollar being missing, because I don't think he realized he had it by any stretch of the imagination, based on how he was trying to pull things out to make sure he had enough money for this half pint. Hey, still, if he needs to go buy another half pint and buy a single cigarello or something like that later, it's his dollars, not mine.
Huh. Yeah. Did I tell you about it at the book fair? That some kid dropped $5 and the whole class stopped to try to find it, and it kind of shocked me.
Yeah, you did tell me about that, but kids are so much more.
Well, see, I
innocent
remember not being that way. I remember we went on a field trip somewhere, and someone lost their rabbit pelt, and I remember finding it and
pocketing it,
kept it. Yeah, I did, and later that day, I even got accused of taking it, and I didn't take it from them, but I did find it. So I should have gave it back.
You knew what they were talking about when you got accused.
Yeah,
of
no, I did.
It.
Totally. 100%. I was the guy. And but when they accused me of stealing it, I felt like I was going to get in trouble. And so I deeply denied it. But
but that's also that's a different thing too, though. As a kid, in the well, not even as a kid, even as an adult, like the fear that you're going to get in trouble, even if at the time you didn't even know. If you just randomly found something and then later found out that it belonged to somebody else, that they were looking for it, and that's when you were like, "Shit, I'm going to get in trouble for this." That's almost like self-preservation.
Right, I guess so, but maybe I should have.
The question
I should have lost it again.
Did you know that he was looking for it and you went to find it, and when you found it, you were like, "It's mine now," type of deal?
No, it was after we ate lunch. I remember it just kind of laying there, and I was like, "Oh shit, I wanted one of these, and I couldn't afford it."
So you didn't know this kid had lost it at the time?
No, not at the time, not when I found it. But then when we got on the bus, there was an announcement made, and then I got accused of it right after the announcement was made. It was like, "I didn't see you buy that, Jason," and I'm like, "But I did," because I was like,
"Oh, it was something they had just bought there."
Yeah. It was like we went to like a natural history museum or something like that, and they sold rabbit pelts, and so it was bought during the field trip, and it got left behind basically during lunch or something like that, and they ended up looking for it. They realized they had lost it, and by the time we were leaving the field trip, they were looking for it, and I had claimed it at this point, and once the announcement was made that it's being looked for, I got accused of stealing it. Another kid,
because
and I was
because
just
you
like,
had on accident.
I mean, yeah, no, they weren't wrong, but I wasn't gonna admit to it.
Is it still dark out there?
No,
I did. So I just realized.
Yeah, I laid in the bed for a real long time, and I was like, well, I guess he's not coming back.
I took out the phantoms. It was like, job done here. Back to work.
Oh God. Well, anyways, we should end this episode here. I promise I'm not a rabbit thief anymore.
Well, I mean, just a rabbit pelt thief, not live ones, just dead
right.
ones. Oh no, I'm not gonna make it.
Oh no. Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
I'm not gonna make it. I'll see you guys later. Hopefully by the time you guys see this next episode, I've made it into a bed or something like that. I'm trying to delay it to see if it's gonna.
Oh, you're gonna make it.
Nope.
Aw, that's too bad.
All
right, bye everybody.
See ya.